Imagine transforming your everyday surroundings into a sprawling fantasy landscape filled with mystery, magic, and adventure. With Loot Quest, your daily walk isn't just a walk anymore. It's a quest for treasure, a battle with mythical monsters, and loot. This isn't just a game. It's a call to adventure, and it's on your mobile device. Welcome to the world of Loot Quest, an immersive and captivating mobile role-playing game that takes players on an epic journey through a rich and dynamic world. Discover a vibrant world filled with a variety of environments from dense forests to abandoned ruins. Each location is rich in secrets and treasures waiting to be found. Face your enemies in exciting battles that require both tactical skill and quick reflexes. Choose from a variety of weapons and spells to develop your own fighting style. Every decision you make influences the course of your story and the world around you. Create your own hero with a variety of options for appearance, skills, and equipment. Develop your character as you learn new skills and collect powerful equipment on your journey. And there's even a questline that I wrote with a special reward at the end of it that might be familiar to you. Click on the link in the description below to get Loot Quest now on Android or iOS. And now what you're here for. Paladin overreacts and attempts to kill a player character. So I joined a D&D group after a long time since my very first try at it. So I figured I'd join a new group at a local coffee and gaming shop. The group was just starting up their first campaign. It was one inspired by an isekai anime. Think the likes of Rising of the Shield Hero and such. The DM had done all kinds of cool things to make it feel like a tabletop MMORPG, so I was all on board. So with our first session, I asked our party what they're playing. The answers were a priestess, functionally similar to a cleric, but with the ability to cast smite in addition, fighter, a paladin, and a sorcerer. The DM permitted homebrew races and presented me with a list of classes, some from official D&D, and most were homebrew. So I chose the homebrew class, Spellblade, a magic and physical attack hybrid, and I chose a homebrew race that supported both, the Damon. My character's backstory was that she was summoned by the same royal family who summoned the priestess, fighter, and sorcerer to act as extra support. Since they knew her real name, though they were able to command her to do so, whether she liked it or not, and had heard stories about how daemons upon being summoned were nothing but tools of war and playthings for mortals. On a side note, the Paladin was a volunteer who joined them, and once my character showed up, is when shit hit the fan. Nice to have some extra muscle, especially of the magic variety, the fighter said. Indeed, a daemon at that. I had heard about daemons, but never thought I'd get to see one in person. A pleasure to make your acquaintance, Miss Spellblade, added the sorcerer. I look forward to working alongside you, the priestess said warmly. And finally the Paladin added, Ugh! Heretical beast. So we decided to spend the first session looking around town, the priestess quickly growing closer to my Spellblade as she was a people-pleaser character. As we looked through shops, we bought a new scimitar for my Spellblade, as hers was worn, dull, and cracked from using it so much before being summoned. All the while, the Paladin doing all he could try to get my character kicked out of shops and tarnishing her reputation among the townsfolk, with sorcerer and fighter thwarting any attempts to do so. I had nothing against this initially, as I thought this could add interesting development where these characters gradually become friends, starting as bitter rivals, so I let it slide. At one point, we see street thugs harassing a traveling merchant who had stopped in town, so we stepped in and our first combative engagement started. As we fought the thugs, Fighter wanted to only go far enough to subdue them rather than kill them, which we all agreed on. As we fought, Paladin did something unexpected. I'm gonna cast Smite on Spellblade. What? Why? Asked the sorcerer. Yeah, why? We're in the middle of a fight, I said. You're locked crossing blades with one, so I have no choice but to cast Smite on you to hit him, said the Paladin as a matter of fact. You could hit another thug, though, the priestess pointed out. Just a warning, you're a Paladin of the Goddess of Order according to your sheet. If you cast Smite on someone who isn't causing trouble, you lose your bonuses for the rest of this fight, as you're supposed to be a peacekeeper, not an aggressor, the DM said. Paladin backed down after hearing that and cast it on another thug, damaging him a good deal, and priestess whacking the thug in the back of the head with her staff, knocking him out. After we had successfully won the fight with minimal bloodshed, the priestess healed up the merchant's minor injuries first, as we ourselves didn't even drop below half hit points. And the merchant offered us all one healing potion for each of us and a small sum of gold for us to split as a thanks. Later, while dividing it up, the Paladin chimed in again. I propose the Spellblade doesn't receive her portion of the gold, Paladin said out of nowhere. The sorcerer scoffed and asked, What makes you think she doesn't deserve a portion of the gold? She contributed just as much as any of us. Agreed. Don't forget she blocked a throwing knife that was aimed right at you, the fighter pointed out. I said, in character, I was ordered to preserve the well-being of these three, Paladin. If that proves to be an issue for you, as a volunteer, you are free to leave at any time, as I was not ordered to protect you, just these three, and to keep my own self-preservation in mind. The Paladin at this point had had enough, saying that the party was playing favorites and defending a heretical monstrosity. I'm going to attack the Spellblade, the Paladin declared. Are you sure you want to? The DM began to ask before the Paladin interrupted him. Yes, I'm sure. He actually cut off the DM, ignoring the warning from before. So I warned him in character. Stand down. You have no idea what you're getting yourself into. I attempted to intimidate him into deciding against it. I roll, and I get a 15. The Paladin rolls and gets an 18, so my intimidation fails. Paladin goes for the attack still. After a bit of fighting and taking damage, he got some serious punishment. I used the bonus from my goddess to heal me, Paladin said, trying to recoup some of his lost hit points. You can't do that, the DM said. Why not? I'm under the goddess of order. Yes, but you're the aggressor here. You don't get any bonuses from her if you do that. I warned you about that while you were making your character, and during the fight against the thugs, and you cut me off before you decided to fight the Spellblade. So, this is really your fault. The Paladin's character was slain by a heretical beast, fittingly, by beheading. In the Paladin's last moments of awareness, my Spellblade told him, only the self-righteous use their gods and goddesses to justify their selfish actions. Paladin's player angrily huffed, Why are we letting a demon into our party? Demon? Everyone looked at each other confused. The Sorcerer's player, I'm afraid you're mistaken. Spellblade isn't a demon. Spellblade is a Damon. There is in fact a difference. And the Sorcerer's player explained the difference between a Damon and a demon. The Paladin's player, well, the character's too overpowered. Note, my character was nearly killed by him towards the end of our scuffle. Priestess intervened and healed my character, and we had given a Paladin's player multiple attempts to stop the PvP and restart the scene, but he refused, insisting on trying to kill my character. The DM chimed in, the character's primary stats are strength and charisma. Spellblade uses charisma for magic power and strength for physical power. You chose a class that had powerful bonuses that came with the conditions, and you chose to risk it. If you want to make a new character, we can have them appear before the session is over. Paladin's player decided just to dip out in a huff, so we just continued the session and are still playing the campaign. It had been a lot of fun, and tales of the self-righteous Paladin have become a bit of a joke among us. You might be asking yourself, what is the difference between a Damon and a demon? Well, according to my research, the essential difference between a Damon and a demon is that a Damon is any spirit, good or bad, including the spirit of a living human, while a demon is exclusively a bad spirit. A Damon can also be controlled if you know the Damon's name, while according to other folklore, it is also applicable to demons. But hey, it's homebrew. I'm sure the DM in this case provided more background. Still, what a hill to die on because of a miscommunication. Have you ever had someone ruin a game of D&D because they didn't hear something correctly? Before we take our leave, don't forget to subscribe to our channel, All Things D&D. Stay tuned for more amazing Dungeons & Dragons content.